Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, money is getting tight, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You have to stay tuned to understand what I'm referring to. The cost of living is rising. It's very simple, but let's get into that. And passive income ideas because we're out here doing the salsa dance tonight because dividends have been dispersed from monthly and weekly dividends, which is passive income, wealth building here in the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like I have a little delay, but it does not matter. The show still goes on. And let's talk about a few things first. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information or who's not looking for information. And we have something here that's handy for them. First things first, because we're doing the salsa dance today, I have to say, those of us who invest in YieldMax ETF funds, disbursements happen on Friday and Monday, depending on which brokerage account you have. Speaking of brokerage accounts, you guys know where to get the free stocks from Robinhood, Webull, and Moo Moo. That's number one category. Get your free shares of stock, get a brokerage account, invest in the stock market, because here's the trend. 1 year, 4 months, if we can make it, that's all you have to reduce your debt, to buy assets that's going to pay you. But now, what are the assets going to be? Because if money is getting tighter and people don't have money to spend, that could mean businesses aren't going to receive a lot of money themselves. Profits start shrinking. Manufacturing starts shrinking, which is what's happening right now. More companies go out of business. So you're going to need to make passive income somewhere. And where would that be? Number one location, the world's greatest casino and stock market on the planet currently is in the United States. So therefore, if you want to keep up with the billionaire boys club, the top 10 percenters, then you're going to have to be in their game. So that also means crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum is what we talk about here. Sure, you can always do altcoins that go up 1,000% in 5 days and then drop 1,000% in 10 days. But the pump and dumps, they're still going to be around. But what you want is something that can stay steady and keep rising over time. Bitcoin and Ethereum serves the bill. Steady growth. And by the way, Bitcoin does about 25% increase annually. So that's something to think about. At least if you buy it today and sell it next year, traditionally, not going to say it's going to happen, but traditionally a year from now it would have went up 25%, and you can take the profits and run, I guess. 25% is nice if it keeps its average. So again, money's getting tighter. And when there's a shrinkage in everything due to a bunch of factors, but number one factor is tariffs, because there are still people telling lies about how tariffs work. If you are in business, or ask a person that's in business that imports, don't listen to anybody. Just go down to any business. Mom and pop businesses, they generally order from Asia, Mexico, wherever they can get the cheapest products, Philippines, Korea, whatever it may be. But you can just ask them. Just walk in and ask the owner and say, hey, man, the tariffs affect you? And do you order from outside corporations or companies outside of the United States? If they say, yes, we do, then ask them how tariffs affect them. And they're going to tell you, I have to pay more for the same product that I used to get for a lesser price because tariffs are placed on when we get it here. It's not placed on the other company. They still get to sell their product, their widget, for $20. But because somebody says add 25% to it, well, when it comes to America Gate, they say it's a toll charge that I have to pay inside of America for that product to come through, is literally what it is. So now that 25% more price, that $20 widget is $25. So instead of me charging $40 in my store, because generally retail used to be 50%. So instead of me charging $40, now I have to charge 50. So that's how this works, or more, because now transportation costs a little more. So maybe it's 55 or 60. But there's a big difference in price. And that's what people don't understand. So money's going to get tighter because that is just the way things go when you start having layoffs, when people aren't working, when people can't find jobs, and when people can't find livable wage jobs. So your job now is, if you know money's getting tighter and you may or may not have a job, then you're going to have to pick vehicles that you can receive passive income, or choose a business that's going to be passive income. And don't forget, smash that like button because it's free. All right. Post retirement travel. He is gearing up. He has a big smile on his face today. He was doing the salsa dance over the weekend, knowing he's getting paid out passive income ideas through stocks, ladies and gentlemen. It's plain and simple. You have to stay in that ball game. You cannot deviate. Whatever you do, you cannot deviate for 1 year and 4 months. Just so you know. All right. Post retirement travel. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. And speaking of let's do this, let me make sure. You got to have those pen, pads, and papers ready, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what's going to come out of anybody's mouth here that may help you. You might want to write it down, do your own research. We're just a family here that just tries to help people around the world. Rising tides lift all boats, and that is what we talk about here. So you can win with your money, your investments, different ideas that you may not even think about. EV Place is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Another investor is here, and he says, good evening, everyone, about BTC. Be careful right now. Domination looks like it wants to break up the trend. If the cycle repeats, BTC can drop 30 to 40% from the current price. He is exactly right, and we all expect this. We know what's going to happen. We've seen this over 5 years, 6 years. We know. You know what's funny? Bitcoin broke out to around 30, 35,000, 40,000. People were going off the charts back then. People were saying, oh, I wish I would have bought when it was 15 or 20,000. And at the time we said, you're going to have another chance. But see, don't get scared because you're saying, I would have bought it 20 if I would have known it was going to go to 40. Well, it did. It went back to 15, 13.5 for BTC. People had another chance. And then, of course, it went back up to 20, then 25, then 40. Then all of a sudden, one day it started to go to 65 and 70. Then it dropped back down to 50. So What EV Place is talking about here is exactly what traditionally happens with Bitcoin and percentage wise is Ethereum as well. I'll never forget we had Ethereum for 300 and some odd dollars. People thought that was a bad idea. Then it went to 1500 all of a sudden, busted out. Then it came back down to 750, 600, 550. But remember, everybody says, I wish I would have known. You're going to have another chance. Similar to stocks, you're going to have another chance. You have to get in the game. So you can wait, yes, or you can put a little bit in just to be in the game, just in case it goes from 115 back up to 125, up to 130. But let me explain. He is probably going to be correct because this traditionally is what happens. But there's a difference between before and now. Before, there wasn't ETFs that was licensed to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and anything else crypto. So this time, I don't know if we will have the 40% drop that traditionally happens. That would mean it would go from 125 down to what would that be? Like 80, 85? It'd be almost similar to what happened with Nvidia. It would go like to 80,000 or 85,000, and people are still going to sit on the sidelines. And if that happens, you should be doing this. Yum, or can I get some more of this stuff? Because you know who else is doing it? The big boys, the Billionaire Boys Club. They're the ones saying, let me buy more now. And that's why the price is going to flip on the other side. Because guess what starts happening? Sooner or later, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and probably a few other coins are going to turn into they don't print anymore. So therefore, trying to get a hold of it means the price increases in order for somebody to sell. That's how it works. Supply and demand. That's the thing. And so when somebody says it's going to go to $1 million, we don't know what time frame, but it probably will, because the less availability means somebody's going to buy a piece. Remember, we can go out like what, 16 digits or something crazy, maybe even more, 28 digits. I don't know. But the point of the matter is there'll be sales, but maybe only half a Bitcoin or a tenth of a Bitcoin, but it's still going to be valued at a higher level. So I agree with exactly what he's saying. So therefore, you guys should be paying attention. 125, 126. I don't remember what the record high is, but it's back down. It was 115 today. And true to form, I was all over today. I couldn't believe it. I had my stops because you know what I decided to do? I was like, you know what? Enough of this. These little dips that they have, I'm not going down with their dips anymore. I said, just like I told you guys, 20%, 10 to 20%. I'm like, why am I going down below? Like, I can't remember, something happened today. I think it was Nvidia, I think. I had a stop on it. It went down to 16 something. Now I bailed at 17 something. It went down to 16, I think it was 86. I was sitting there like, are we kidding right now? So I just bought back in for the same amount of shares at 1686 that I sold in the 17s, and I kept the profit where I then bought some more of PLTY because it dropped to 66 in the range that I liked, 63, 66, 62, 66. It seems to stay in this range because my dollar cost average is in the 50s. So it still didn't bring me over $60 a share. So I said, I can live with that. So I did it twice today where I had stops and it sold. I bought back, kept a little profit, and then I rebought some other stuff that I wanted, like Nvidia was another one. So just letting you guys know, there's all kind of ways to get passive income, and I wish I knew how to do option income trading. I wish that would have been nice. Post retirement travel says at EV Place, what's up, buddy? Yes, I have 4 Bose 701 towers, pretty much new. I used them a few times in Hawaii when I was stationed there. Oh man. All right. Yes, Eric, ETFs change things a little bit. I'm expecting a drop to 50% domination instead of 40% like the past cycles. Yeah, I that would be tremendous if it went to are you saying 60,000? 65,000? Actually, it is doable because like I said, we were at 25 to 30,000 before. There was people talking all kind of garbage. They were saying, "Oh, it's fake. It's not going to happen. It's going to drop." And then when it dropped to 15, 17,000, 15,000, oh man, all the people against Bitcoin was sitting there saying, "I told you so. I told you it was going to crash. It'll never work." So what did we say back then? We were saying it could go lower. It did. It went to 13.5. You had a chance then. 13.5, 14 G's, you had a chance. Ethereum, 300, 400, $500. You had a chance, but you sat on the sidelines. By the way, because Brian P mentioned this the other day, I have been remiss this whole year because I really haven't talked about unstoppable domains. And I highly suggest you don't know what the future is going to be out here, ladies and gentlemen. My job and everything I've done my whole life is trying to stay in front of any curves. So one way to stay in front of curves is outliers. It's things that people don't expect. Like, for instance, unstoppable domains. First of all, when you buy this domain, there is no additional cost annually, yearly, nothing. So you can have your company name at .crypto, .nft, .wallet, .x. They have several different extensions. The beauty of it is the top 300 plus coins, I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is you say, "Hey, Eric, I want to send you crypto." Then I just say, "Send it to stopstrugglingnow.crypto." That's it. There's no alphanumeric characters I have to send over. There's nothing I have to do. Also, because it's on the blockchain, you can put website on as your domain. You can have a little videos. Right now, it's not fully blown out where you can hold a lot of stuff on there, but you can do video, pictures, a normal 4 or 5 page website on the blockchain. The reason this is a great thing is because you have now taken out these stupid things that you have to do with .com, .net, all this other .orgs and all this, where you have to pay annually, and they just keep bumping up the registration fees in order for you to keep your domain names. But in the case of unstoppable domains, I'm putting a link in the chat room. You should get these. If we're talking about $5, $10, come on. That's crazy. Wait, what's this right here? Yomax ET. Oh, I didn't realize I had that. That's interesting. Wow. Okay. What else is happening? I'm putting a link in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. They're $10, they're $15, they're $20. The one time you can mint it using the Polygon network at no additional cost. You own it. You don't know what could happen in the future, but if it's only going to be 10, $20, why wouldn't you just get it just in case? And if you want to use it, obviously, if you're into crypto and swapping stuff back and forth, then it makes it a little easier for you. But the point is, since we don't know what's going to happen in the future, and we do know crypto apparently in America is going to be in play for life, they're not going to try and block it apparently like they used to, unless, unfortunately, we have another administration that changes their mind. Because that is against actual USA currency. It devalues the USA currency more because now you're trading in dollars to sit on the shelf for crypto, which is not money. It's not currency in reality. So that's where a problem's going to come in down the line because people are trading those in and they're not circulating. Like a normal, I'm buying a good and service, and then that person has dollars. Now you're doing it, changing it into thin air. Now the person has dollars, but there is no tangible good or service that can be resold or rented out or used for however long, has a collectible value later. So that money is just sitting in our system. And then on the way back out, if somebody bought something at 50,000 for BTC, now on their way back out, they're saying, I only put in 50,000 USD, but you're going to give me back on my end 100,000 USD. So the machine is going to be disrupted because there's nothing that happened. I collected the 50,000. Yes. I put it in my duffel bag of cash. I bought a car. I bought whatever or nothing. But on that way out, somebody's going to give me 100 grand or 115 if we talk about today's BTC. That's the problem that you're going to have. And that's going to be very interesting. But in the meantime, crypto is here to stay. You have corporations buying it. Michael Saylor of MSTR is gung ho about it. So we're going to find out what's going to happen, but it's going to be an interesting ride, and I'm all here for it. You guys better get on board. All right, just a little bit will do you. Nobody says you have to buy $115,000 worth. You can buy $5 worth if you want to. I mean, so you got to get in the game. As post-retirement travelers always said, a little cup of coffee, ladies and gentlemen, a little crypto. This week, instead of a cup of coffee is crypto. Then a few days later, instead of a cup of coffee, it's a couple of coffee is going to be some stock. Very simple. You spend more money than you think when you're out here roaming around. You don't realize it. EV Place, again, he's talking about he was stationed in Hawaii, has the Bose system. Let me see. I must have missed something up here. E. White is in the house. I did miss something. Mr. Emerging Millionaires in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline. Good evening, SSN family. He's talking about he's doing the merengue and the Sasua dance from my dividends from PLTY, ULTY, and other high yield ETFs. E. White, welcome again. He says, I'm going for everything. First, I'm going to go for the emerging millionaire real estate status. Now he says, I'm going to be in this passive income game and building wealth just like the Billionaire Boys Club. I am all here for it. Very proud of you, E. White. You always been the man handling biz. Thank you so much for being in the house, man. Very happy to see you. Let's see. I must have missed something here. All right. Two in front and two in the rear. Okay. Was it surround sound? It wasn't surround though. Well, hold on. It was what was it? 4.1, 5.2. I think it's a 5.2, right? 5.1, something like that at the time. It was up there, so it had to probably be a 5.1 surround sound system. Had to be. Had to be. Um Yeah, I agree with all of that. But E White, I skipped, but I got him back. So that was cool. The way I do Bitcoin from post retirement travel and Ethereum is buying a cup of coffee of each daily. I'm employing dollar cost averaging all the way. Exactly. I don't blame you, but let's face facts. I mean, if you bought it 50 or 60 or 30 or 75 and you buy some more now, your dollar cost average rises. But I think most people can live with that because we know it's going to be 25% a year from now. That's traditionally what's been happening. So we'll go with tradition. I think it's going to actually have a higher upside. There's going to be a squeeze eventually. We just don't know when that eventually will be. It has to be at billions or trillions of dollars. And it's coming. It's on the way. It's going to be very interesting. Yes, Eric, ETFs change things a little bit. I'm expecting a drop. I talked about this already. He already read this one. 50% domination instead, 40% like in past cycles. Well, yeah, traditionally it's going to drop somewhere like that. I mean, 125 down to 95 or 85, that's possible as far as I can tell. Traditionally, that's what's going to happen. And that's when people better start thinking, just like when we were at $85, $86 for NVIDIA, the same thing was going on. People were like, well, if it drops below 115 or 110, I'm going to sell. I was like, really? I was like, okay, because it's going to happen. Are you sure? They're like, yeah, I'm sure. As soon as it happened, I was like, now it's 105. Did you sell at 110 or 115? Well, no, I didn't. I said, okay, then. You buying some more, though, aren't you? Because your dollar cost average is going down. So you got to buy more. Simple. Now look at them. Because now, if they would have bought at 85 and 86 and 87, your dollar cost average is probably under $100. So now, can you imagine your dollar cost average at 95 or $90 and it's now 180 something, 182. Basically doubled your money with the dollar cost average. Crazy stuff, but that's what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention to your investments. You're the CEO of your life. EV Place. Okay, now I'm back in the mix. DIM Pals, another investors here, loving the Yield Max ETF. Option trading has to be off the charts. This stuff is moving. Little pips here and there. I'm just like, I cannot believe what's happening. Things are dropping like a dollar. I'm like, the stock price is like 1770. Next thing I know, 1680, 1660. I'm just like, I'm getting ding, ding. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? I'm taking the profits, but hell, I'll buy back in at the lower price. What the hell? This is crazy stuff happening. And then it rose up today. This is what's going to keep going. But again, DIM pals, I know you're loving life, and welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Says, good evening, everyone. I bought some more free money. I know you did. Stay healthy and well. That's what we have to do. Health is wealth, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourself. Get some exercise. Get some sun. Eat properly. Stop drinking the sugar. Carbohydrates are sugar. So if you see 1 or 2 or 3 grams of sugar and you're going, oh, I'm good. Well, 34 grams of carbs is 34 grams of sugar. Do not intake it. Just remember key things. Sugar on the brain, dementia. Sugar in your blood, diabetes. Just keep it simple, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so stay away from the sugar unless it's natural sugars. And by the way, that other stuff, that equal and that other garbage, do not no. Okay, don't do it. Stevia. All right, stevia. If you're gonna add some sugar, stevia. All right, don't mess around. All right, just had to say, stay healthy and well is number one. Wealth, your health is your wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I smashed that like button. He gave it a free one piece. I love that. Thank you so much, DIM pals. And again, I love what you're out here doing. I know you're happy doing the salsa dance. EV Place. It's never too late to buy BTC, but try not to buy close to all times high. You damn right. Or be ready to hold for 4 years plus. Hey, listen, 25% increase, but I agree with you totally. I would never buy it 125 or 124 or 123 or what. No, because you know it was going to come back to the teens. So I bought some more today because I was like 115, okay. But there's no way at 125 because you know there's going to be pullback. That's a 10, almost an what, 8% pullback from I think 125, 125K is the all-time high, and it was 115. So I was like, okay, got to get some more. A little cup of coffee will do me. Does not matter. We know it's going to go up. In fact, like I said on Friday, I might do a breakdown, like I said, of this video. I should, because Michael Saylor is doing He's talking about every asset class and why there's a timeline on what you have to do something with it, versus he's a big fan of Bitcoin, obviously, and Ethereum is too. So he understands that you don't have to do anything. That's where he comes from all the other asset classes you have to pay to maintain. So he's like, if for instance, if you have a house, sure, the house goes up, but now you have to pay, how much, what's the cost? So you're like we talk about here, insurance and property tax is a cost, maintenance and upkeep is a cost, and people forget that. And he's like, well, with Bitcoin, I don't have any maintenance costs. I just buy it and then I just sit back. Similar to what the guys with gold and silver stackers, what they try to do, right? Same type of similar thing. There's no expense. So he says that for real estate, and he just goes down the line. Why stocks? He says if you have an ETF, he says, you know what? You have an ETF, stocks or whatever, and you have a management company, they generally charge 1% on average or more. He says over 20 years, you gave up over 20% of your money to them. And again, he's right. So I was like, hey, he's right. Because you're not getting any return. You're getting appreciation, yes, but you're giving up 1% every year. So every year is 10 years is 10%. So I didn't even, he's like saying all these things. And we talk about appreciation as well. But this is why my policy has always been I want to have double digit returns passively, because then we still get the appreciation, maybe not crazy appreciation because dividend stocks don't do that, but at least you're getting return and a little appreciation because you're decreasing the dollar value. So the stock price still rises somewhat, a little. That's all we need, just so it stays in the ballpark. And if somebody's going to give us 25, 30, 40, 50% return, then we're in the right game. And luckily for everybody here, option income trading and giving out dividends from many different companies now, that is something that has benefited a lot of people, especially when you have things like MicroStrategy, MSTY for YieldMax ETF. Others have it too. When you have like the PLTY that stays within a $63 to $70 range generally. And so if you're getting a 60% return and your stock price can stay in that same area, you get a true 60%. Where can you get this from? Right? This is what we're dealing with here. How can you get $5, $6, $7 stocks like a ULTY? It has dropped under $6, which is crazy. And then they're giving out, I don't know what it was what was it, 10 cents or 14 cents, but they give a weekly dividend. Comes out to again another 60, 70%. So if you can stay, if it went down to $5.95 early today, I bet you it went up. I didn't buy any more at that price point. But the point is, it went up. So it's probably back over $6, probably, I would think. But as long as it stays in that 590 to 650 range, and you can get a 60 to 80% return, then you're good. So yeah, I agree with this EV place. You have to stay, and in my opinion, BTC is and Ethereum and all that is different than anything else. You have to understand. I don't like to recommend buying like gold and silver. I don't like doing gold and silver. There's a reason. Gold and silver, I mean, I'm saying you should get a little bit, but the reason gold and silver is different is because there is no finite number. So with Bitcoin, for instance, there's only going to be X amount of Bitcoin ever produced, and they limit it also. Whereas gold and silver appreciates based on uh, inflation. So whatever you could buy 20 years ago is the same thing you can buy now. it stays level with inflation. You don't get any gain from it. Whereas with crypto, you could say you get 25% gain. You could sell it next year and have some of it gives you 25%. You can go liquid. That's the differences. So just keep that in mind. Money is getting tighter out here. So you're going to have to put your money into vehicles that appreciate, such as you can do a little gold, silver, and crypto. Those appreciate, and you need passive income. A bond treasury bill will not do you any good. A CD will not do you any good. Our inflation rate is double digits. I don't really care what the government says. They're using new math. They changed it in 1980 so they could actually then fool everybody that inflation is not what it is. That's the problem. It's really more like double digits. They just don't want to tell you because you're going to feel comfortable, right? It's fake. And talk about propaganda. It's disturbing, quite frankly, because that if people don't realize what's going on, then they make fatal mistakes where they say, "Oh, I'm just going to go to the bank and leave my money in at 4.5% in a CD, lock it up for 2 years or something," and not realizing their buying power is worthless on the other side. Their CD is dispersed. They got their little 4.5% each year, but inflation is like 12%, 10%. They can't even buy the same thing that they put their money in there for. So that's what I mean about money's getting tighter. It's not just one thing, it's 5 things. Your currency, our currency is being devalued from 2 different sides of the fence. One, we're losing our currency value against other currencies. That's the first problem. And then the second problem is we're having our currency by printing more money out of thin air. You're devaluing the currency. So that's why sitting around talking about 3-4% inflation is absurd. If your dollar, which is what our dollar has done this year, loses 10% value, we're minus 10% already. So you can't turn around and then go, oh, it's only 3% inflation. That's absurd, right? So you have to understand they're using numbers that's basically look over here because we want to talk about this inflation every month or every 2 months, every 6 months, year over year. We're going to talk about that, but that's not even what we should be looking at. Who cares about your inflation numbers? They're irrelevant. I can go to the store and see prices are higher. This is not like I need you to tell me it's 2 or 3% and we know it's a lie. What are the real numbers is what investors need to know. Here in the SSN Nation, you guys know you can't do single digits. You need double digits winning. You can't do this single digit stuff. People talking about, 3%, 4%, 5%. You can't do that. If you want to do it, that's fine. But there's no way you'll be treading water and eventually you're going to be holding down rocks and you'll be sinking. You'll be underwater. And you don't want to be underwater 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And that's where we have a problem. I don't want you guys having this problem because we have vehicles that our parents and great grandparents never had. And that is BTC. You have the internet and you have ways to get passive income that's readily available to you. Whereas back in the day, it had to be word of mouth. They didn't have internet. All they could do was open up the Wall Street Journal and look after the fact and be like, oh, look at here. In 6 months, NVIDIA went up 100% if you would have bought in April. After the fact. Now, because everything is on demand, you can look right now and see how much stocks. You can buy stocks right now. You can look at it right now. You can buy right now. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to open up the Wall Street Journal and then find out after the fact. You can do things in real time. Big advantage for you. So therefore, you have to be in the game because you're not going to be able to sustain staying ahead of inflation. That is impossible. Even businesses are having a hard time. It's impossible. All right. That's my chat for the afternoon. Let me see where I'm at. Oh yeah, we were on. It's never too late. I don't. Yeah, don't do all time highs. That is true on anything. Anything. Just be careful putting too much into individual stocks at once. I strongly recommend putting 75 to 80% into ETFs instead, such as, yep, those are the indexes. They take in the top 50, 100, 250 companies. And the job of the Federal Reserve is to make sure the stock market indexes go higher. I agree with SPY, VOO. I agree with all this. QQQ, VTI, SCHD. When it goes down, these can take it. This is true. They're going to go down too. But, 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 just remember, they can go down too a little bit. But at the same time, when they come back stronger. And in fact, when there's a situation where there's a recession and they might go to 3% return or maybe even a negative return, the following year, usually when things start going back up, it flips on the other side and does like 18 to 25%. So your average over 2 years may be like 10%, but the fact of the matter is that upside, it's one hell of a ride. So we're going to have that 1 year, 4 months from now. There's going to be something that's going to happen. The system could break before then, but I would not be sitting there thinking that everything's going to be fine past 2 years out. So you want to get yourself in, grab some profits, and reinvest. Do what you got to do all within this next 1 year, 4 months. And the nice ride should come up like in the next 45 days because the Federal Reserve, I believe, is going to do, they have no choice. At this point, they're going to reduce the interest rate. They're going to reduce the interest rate. Um, yeah, VOO, SPY, QQQ, VTI, SCHD. Yeah, we can hang. You know I love the Vanguard group, so I'm on VOOG, VTI, wrote VGT for technologies. Um, yeah, I like all these. All of these. Exactly. Brian paid Mr. Dividend is here. He had his little drink tonight, I'm sure, celebrating another day where thousands of dollars of dividends have come into his hands. Just for him to think, what am I going to do with all of this? And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says his tagline this evening: Happy day, Eric. Thank you. Happy day to you. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. Happy day, SSN family. And he smashed that like button, gave it a one piece as well. Thank you so much. It's free. That's how we do it. All right. We are making money in here. That's right. We're stepping towards. Speaking of making money, I'm not in the option money thing, man. You guys know this, right? I get stuff sent to me all the time and friends of ours and somebody's, I can never do option income trading. So these guys are like, oh, just do bots. I'm like, look, I don't, I said, I just can't wrap my head around this stuff. They show me it. I'm still like, I'm getting a little closer to understanding it because I didn't realize, like I said, 6, 7 months back, maybe even a year ago, that every tick up or down, you could actually make money. I didn't realize that's how it goes. But they're saying they're running bots. And now they're giving me these reports. They're like, I started with 2 grand. I made like 600 today. I made like 400 yesterday. I made like $800. I'm just like, I don't know what this means, but it's all by this bot that they were using. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a bot guy. I don't know nothing about bots really, other than it's a little program within program, but to do things. But I'm skeptical about all that. Post-retirement travel, all good. My proposition is 4 inductors, 4 mid speakers, but because your setup is master slave towers, you will need to take grills off and install them on 4 positive wires to run them all in parallel. 4 inductors for 4 mid speakers. Oh, okay. EV Place does speaker systems, ladies and gentlemen, even for your vehicle and renewable energy source. 700 watts, 1400 watts, 2100 watts, all doable in your vehicle. And obviously, he can do home as well, but it's the rechargeable part. Serious wattage. 700 watts, actually, I hear. 1400 watts is overkill, apparently. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's something to consider. And by the way, speaking of that, let me just throw down, in case you're into car speakers, home stereo system, and all that, you need to get in touch with EV Place. EV Place. Go to eBay. I'm going to put this. What happened? Oh, there we go. Here's this link. Go check it out if you're into speakers and renewable energy. It's special. Go check it out. There's the link right there. Why is this? Okay, I can never get that off. I don't know why not. I'm gonna have to go figure this out. Um, I put a link in the chat room, everybody, so you can go check it out. All right, go check out the eBay. That's close to speakers. Here is the Unstoppable Domain link. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go there and get your Unstoppable Domain. You just never know what's going to happen in the future. It's good to hold this stuff, right? Just like XRP. People thought it was done. So they probably got rid of it, don't know anything about it, but they used to be like 40 cents, 4 cents, quite frankly. Used to be like 4 cents, 6 cents. And people didn't understand what it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. But now it's $3. It went up to 309. So all those people who bought it 6, 7 cents, 10 cents, 40 cents, they're very happy. So this is the point I'm making. The same thing with crypto. This is different. These are domains. So use the link, go check it out. And all it is a one-time fee. There's no additional fees. There's no annual, there's no weekly, there's no monthly, there's no other. You buy these things for 15, 20 bucks, 25, whatever. That's it. You mint it. It's on the blockchain. You own it. EricBird.crypto. EricBird.nft. Stop struggling now. .crypto. Stop struggling now. .nft. So if anybody needs to send me any crypto, I just give them those addresses. I don't have to go wait. Let me get this, send this stuff to you, alphanumeric. None of that. All right. It takes over 350 coins. So the top 350. So it's all good, in my opinion. I've bought a few more bags of MSTY at $17.50. How could you not? I hear you. Because it actually dropped all of them. They did this spike thing. I was like, what is this? Hold on. And like I told you guys last week, I put in my stops because it went up so high above my dollar cost average. I said, you know what? I'm not going to lose money if it has a dip. And sure enough, here we are. Phew, these drops. And I'm just like, what the heck's okay? It says we sold your stuff. I was like, this time though, I'm happy because they sold it at my stop price. So I get to keep profit. I made my money, the appreciation, made the money. And then I get to buy back in at the lower price because I am paying attention because I get notification. I'm like, wait, what happened? And so if it hits my number and they sold, then I'm like, oh, it's dropping. And sure enough, today it was dropping. I was just like, what's these spikes down? And then they bounce back up. So it was a lovely green day, actually, after all. I can't blame you. Got to. MSTY, very powerful. That's part of MicroStrategy. YieldMax ETF, MSTY. They do option income trading off of the MicroStrategy MSTR, and then they disperse the dividends to YieldMax ETF holders who's holding MSTY. So that's what we talk about. Post-retirement travel. We can talk more details on private. Take my email from Eric. Or you can just go to the yeah. I thought I sent you guys each other's emails before, but anyhow, I'll send it again tonight. All right, Brian P. Hey Eric, ULTY is $5.91. I picked up some more of it. I know. I can't remember if I got some because I was actually on a buying spree because I took my profits and you know, and then I bought back in. I was sitting there like I can't even believe that these guys are. This is too. This is starting to get crazy doing this. Give the profits, take profits, buy lower, and get more shares. I'm like, this is too much for me. I'm like, I'm loving life. Win, win, win. Double winning. I'm just like, good grief. Now I have more shares just by selling and rebuying. This is crazy. This is insane. And I still got the dividends. It's insane. It's insane. Um, yeah, let me go. Let me see what happened. Because I was active because of the spikes. I had several sells. I just can't remember everything, and then I bought back in because I was like, okay, let me just get it back. Yeah, see a positive day. It was awesome. Yeah, BTC's at 115 still. ETH is at 42.95 now. XRP's over 3. It was under 2 today. I mean under 3 today. And you say ULTY. Yep. It hit my it hit mine too. Yep. I sold in my profit range because I told you guys, what did I say 2 weeks ago? Was it when I said, hey, you guys might want to put stop losses so you don't go down below and you can always keep your profit? Well, that's what happened. It hit my profit for the share price. Then I bought back in at it was 590 something because my dollar cost average is at 6. So, or I can look it up too. But yeah, I bought back in. I sold above 6 or 5, whatever it was. I bought back at 6 or 590 something, 599 or 6. But anyhow, I don't care. I took my profit and ran. And then I bought back in at a lower price. It's a beautiful thing. And I have more shares, which is even more beautiful. I get profit in shares. It's beautiful. I like profit in shares. More shares for the same stock just by selling it and then rebuying. Took the profit, kept the profit, added a little more money, bought some more shares, and we got dividends today. I'm sitting there like it can't get any better than this, ladies and gentlemen. Can't get any better than this. I was like, thank you very much. Post retirement travel, you're welcome. Yep. Okay, what's this? Try birch juice sugar. Xylitol. Okay, that works. Xylitol too. We can do all the naturals. Uh, hey Eric, check your emails, man. I'm scared. I'm scared. James Way, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. He says, good evening, folks. The rent is too damn high and won't pay itself. Keep investing. And P.S. even. Forgot to tell you, I did get the emerging shirt you were wearing from way back. Oh, James Way, thank you so much, man. We do have the gear, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to stopstrugglingnow.com and go get it. We have some more. We still have some XLs, just XL. I think we even have XXLs, of course. Yep, in the blue. We have it. Thank you so much for your support, James Way. I appreciate that. Very happy to see you in the house. And keep investing is right. After all these turbulences, my yield max wallet is still 25% up, counting reinvested dividends. Seemed some shopping when they are on sale. Hey, like I said, I had a feeling there might be some trends going, and like I said, there was no reason. So I even like Nvidia. I said if it drops below like 177, then you can just sell my stuff because my dollar cost average is under $100. So I'm not going to sit there and watch these something happen where they're going to lose like $10 to $15. Like right now, it's at 182. It actually went down to 178 during an interday trading on Friday. I was like, oh, but I couldn't be mad. I was just like, okay, I'll just take profits then. And then it went back up. It did not go down below 177. So I was like, all right, fine. It's like whatever. But the point is, don't lose profit after you have something that's already booked in, like a 80% or something. That's silly. 85% profit in less than a few months. Why would you if the stock has a bad day, why not just let it keep at least 80 some percent? There's nothing wrong with it sitting in your account, right? And then if you really believe in the stock, then you would say, okay, it dropped to 177. That was my price. If that happened, then all I'm looking for is I'm hunting. Did this thing go down to 176? Did it go down to 175? Because now I'll just buy back in. It's not the intent that I'm actually leaving. I'm just taking a little dollars in between off the table, getting the same amount of shares for less. So I'll take it. More shares for less. So another way to take advantage. There's several ways to take advantage of the stock market. So I agree. Average 5% a month. Hey, that's what I'm saying. See, I don't know how there's different ways to do calculations. And again, 5% per month. If you can do this is 60% a year. I think everybody would love 60%. Yeah, first of all, you guys know good and well, all whoever's watching and still goes to work, you can ask people, because this is what I used to do when I worked with people, because that's the only place that I'm ever going to have like 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 people. And the majority of people are in the company 401k plan, right? So you ask, hey, man, I can't remember what the 401k did last year. Was it 8%? Was it 9%? Was it 15? What was it? Most of the time it's 8, 9%, 10% max, maybe. It's rare that they're going to be a 14, 15. So the people will say, oh man, it was good. It was like 9% last year. And I'm thinking, like, what do you mean good? In my brain, I'm not saying it because I'm not in the company 401k. But I wanted to find out what people consider good. So when I'm saying I got 14, 15%, because I would eventually tell them, then they're like, no, we only got like 9. I said, yeah, but I'm with Franklin Templeton Group at the time. And here's what we got. I said, what they're doing here, I don't know, but there's other options that you can do yourself. You don't have to be in the company 401k. So those are the things that you have to remind yourself. You may be doing great, above expectations. So when somebody says 5% a month, he's gotten 5% a month for, let's say, 4 or 5 months, 5 months. So let's say that's 25%. Most people would take 25% annual returns all day, every day, even if it ended right now. That's what I'm trying to say. That is great year in a lot of instances. So we want to take that, turn them into 50, 60, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This, I don't think, is going to come along again after about 3 years. I think there's going to be there's an equilibrium that has to happen. So the only thing is you have to be in the game, position yourself where you have that passive income coming in. It's that simple. All right. I'm advocating for it. I've agreed with taking 50% plus profit on shares, but not in the crypto world. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I better clarify right there as far as anybody listening to me. I do not have stop loss on that. No, no, no. Because I know it's going to drop. And I just don't know how far it's going to drop. So I'm staying in the BTC and the ETH thing. I'm just staying in. I'm not even caring. We don't care. We know it's going to, it could go from 115 to 100. This would not be unexpected. But I think it's a lot harder to do that because of the regulations and the ETFs coming on board. I just don't see how. What I'm getting at is if it drops down to 100, all those ETFs and whoever else is on the sideline and corporations, they're going to jump in. So the price is going to stop. It's not going to do what it used to do. It's not going to go down to 60 or 75, I don't think. I think it only goes so far before all these millions of dollars comes rushing in, which is why we hold CONY, right? Coinbase. Just saying. That's a yield max ETF. Um, yeah, I agree with you 100 on that. Yeah, I'm not messing around. I don't have a stop loss for that. Not at all. I don't have it triggered at a certain number to sell. That stays open because that could trigger at any time. I'm not interested. We already know how this is going to work. Crypto is mathematical. That's what you guys have to understand. It's mathematical. So you have more people with access to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptos, but you don't have an endless supply like any currency. You just can't print any more out of thin air to keep the value down. You basically have more people coming and less availability. The epitome of what you want, demand. It always rises. So we love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what else you guys want to discuss this evening. I'm not going to stay on too long. I have a flight tomorrow. Good thing it's in the afternoon. Going to Vegas. So I'll be over there for the Wednesday night live stream. We'll be in Vegas. Dominican peso 60. Whoa. It's back over 58.50. Whoa. See this right here. 61.50 to 1. That tells you a couple of things. It could be two things. The US currency is going down so against other currencies. So now that's why the Dominican peso could pop up. But the other side is there inflation on the island because they have to borrow money from Japan, from China, from USA. So we don't know why it's actually gone up, but it's back to 61.50. It was 62 last year. And then it went under, it was like 58, 59 again. So it's fluctuating. It's mirroring some things you don't want to see. And like I said, anytime your currency rises like this against our dollar, the dollar value could decline, which it has, which would make sense, or they're borrowing money again. That's the only way this can happen. So, nothing good or bad. It's just cost more money. That's it. Basically, just like the currency in the EU, the dollar, the EU is valued higher than the dollar now. Same thing. We're like the third world country. We just don't know it yet. But I love it. EV place, love it. Timing is perfect. I'll be rolling in dollars when going to DR next month. Exactly. 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 Who knew, right? We're being treated like the third world country. Oh, that's funny. But you know what the funniest part is, which is not funny. The DR raised their prices. So when I go to La Bruja and I used to have my nachos were golly, what were they? They were like 840 pesos, right? My ribs was it was like 900, 940, 970, something like that. Well, last time we went, It was not nice. My nachos are now like another, it's like nine something. And now my ribs were 1,100 pesos. So they raised the amount of peso, which was very interesting. So again, if you're in a tourist area, they raise the prices accordingly, and that's what they did last year. I mean, not last year, earlier this year. Quite, what am I saying? It was wasn't it in May? It was in May. So what? 5 months ago. Yeah, they raised up the cost of everything, and the grocery store too. I went to the grocery store. The amount of pesos needed was higher. So out of whack. But the grocery store was remodeled, by the way. What's it called? Chicarillas, Chicarillis, whatever it is, in Los Corrales. Oh, and yeah, the store at Jumbo is also crazy pricing, off the charts kind of pricing too. So it's very, very interesting how it all plays out. It's not like the old days. Love it. Timing. Post retirement travel will be there next month, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Post Retirement Travel Instagram and YouTube page because you never know what pictures are coming up. I'm still tripping about the Machu Picchu pics. I'm like, how did he get up there? What's going on? Yeah, that was cool, man. Mr. Worldwide. All right, interesting. How much are the mixed drinks at La Bruja? For example, vodka tonic. Don't drink those. But they're doing crazy stuff. They're doing USA pricing, tourist prices now. It's probably like I'd be willing to bet like $12, the vodka and tonic, because my rum and coke was like 14. Well, I don't get just any rum, but it was like 15, $14. So what did I do? What did we do? We go next door for happy hour. What's that place called? Negra, La Negra, Terra Negra. We go there for happy hour. That's right. And it has to be specific. You got to be there between, well, I can't remember. But let's just say it's 4 to 7. No, 4 to 7. Let's say it's that. It might be 5 to 7. You order during that time frame and you got to close out too, because if you go past their happy hour, they get all messed up. Their computer, since you didn't pay for it, charges you the real price. Terra Negra, that's where you go for happy hour. It's right next to La Bruja. So that's the deal. That's the in Los Corrales. That's the spot. So drinks are freaking $5-6 after it's 2 for 1. We were there one time, sometime last year. The ladies got tequila. I'm trying to think. There was 6 people at the table, at least two. Yeah, six people. So the lady said, I think it was 100, something like $108, something like that. And then she goes, but it's happy hour. So all 6 got their tequila drinks, and it was only $40 or something, 45, $50. It was crazy. I mean, that was good, is what I'm trying to say. That was good. So there was like 6, was there 8 or 6? 6, I think. So go during happy hour, Terra Negra, and it's cheap as hell. And they have little food stuff too, like tacos were like $9. I was like, and La Bruja doesn't have happy hour, so I was like, you just giving your competition an in? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry, I love you guys, but I gotta go over here for happy hour. I'll be back for my ribs one of these days, but right now I'm going over here. They got like tacos during happy hour. They have all kind of stuff. They give you free chips. So you got your chips automatically. Then you have your fish tacos, and they were like 3 for $6 or and they're damn good. I was like, oh yeah, I can't go to La Bruja for a minute during 5 to 7 or 4 to 7, whatever times it was. Um, and because they're cool, you know, we had our live stream there one time and a couple times actually. And so the guys are like, even when we came in, they were like, we'll just do happy hour for you. And it was like, it was after 9. So, I mean, they're pretty cool. So, but generally, you're going to be spending in the tourist zone like $20 now for drinks. Exactly. Damn, gringo prices. Are you kidding me? No, man. This isn't your grandma's Punta Cana anymore. Just 2 years ago, 2 years ago, everything was 30, 40% cheaper than what it is now. And Terra Negra, just in 2024, January, February, March of 2024, they used to have the guys that would give a little, let's call it a 4 ounce, maybe 3 ounce, 4 ounce. It was a 4 ounce drink that you could take with you down the street. And they had the tequila or rum mix, the punch. They had pina colada. They had some sort of rum mix, and they had another one, and they would hand it out testers for no additional cost, but no more. Not this year, at least not in May. They didn't have it. Terra Negra, I'm referring to. Nobody else does that. Terra Negra was the only place that did that, and then they stopped, which was good. Terra Negra has, and unfortunately, they've changed their management. Like seemingly every time I go, there's a new management crew. So they have different ways of promoting their business. And I thought that was a huge mistake not to have the little 3 ouncers to get people in the door, and they were complimentary. And it was a beautiful thing, but they didn't set it up properly because it was out by the street. So people would get it, but no reason to come in. So getting a free 3 to 4 ounce drink to taste it, it's good, fine, but they didn't say, "Hey, this is what we got going on in here." It's. But anyhow, they got the one of the good guys is now manager there, so he's trying to make a go of it, and hopefully he's doing it. But he's doing the right thing with the happy hours and all that. I just wish he would have included his 3 ounce, 4 ounce drinks out front, and they would add more people and market it right. But it is the nature of the beast, right? Because right now it's low season, so they may not have enough people, so they can't continue the same promotions, right? So you know how it goes, because money's getting tighter, ladies and gentlemen. But you want to know what else? Apparently, the minister of tourism has announced a all-time record high on air passengers for the month of July. I cannot believe this. They said there's no proof or anything. He just said there's 863,000 by air for the month of July in 2025. I don't believe him. I can't even believe it. I looked at the article. They gave no references to nothing. They just go 863,000 by air. They didn't say anything about cruise. They just said 863,000. Now, last July, they had 811,000 by air. So to get an additional 52,000 people in this environment is incredible, if this is true. So I went to go over to Tourism Analytics to go see if it was legitimate, but they don't have July there because they always have the one statistics. So it wasn't there. I was like, this is weird. They didn't put in the cruise numbers. So I was like, it says by air specifically. So I'm like, wait a minute. If they got 863,000 by air, that means they have over a million, maybe even 1.1 on cruise ships. That would be 1.1. So that would be a record for both and for the month and for all time high. I think 863,000 is all time high. That's why I can't believe it, because I'm like, it's higher than Christmas, higher than January, February, March, or April. I don't think there's ever been a higher by air number. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck? But that's it. That's all they say. They don't say anything else. They don't say 60% of the passengers or 40% is from USA. 20% is from Canada. They don't say any breakdowns. It just says 863,000 by air. If you're going to drink several mixed drinks and eat, you'll probably better getting a day pass at any of the resorts. Some of them are like $80, all you can drink and eat. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Where's the $80 ones? But you're probably right because Hard Rock's expensive. Well, it's over 100. But you're probably right. But hold on. We're talking about day passes, right? But yeah, it's getting up there. But hold on. Let me think. But you're getting it's getting close though. That's the point. There it's getting close because just what I was talking about when we went there in May, right? Uh and La Bruja, the prices were up. Barbecue, nachos, two rum and cokes. Nachos are appetizers, but now they're like $10. Eight, nine something is more than $10. They're like 11, $12. And my rib thing is 1100, or it might even be more than that. I just can't remember. It was crazy. But yeah, you're right, because that came the meals basically, if you had more than one person, you're talking about one, because you got to add the 18%. Or actually, it's more than that. You're adding 18% plus another 10% on top of that. So you're adding 28% to your meal. So your meal's like 130, 120. Now you're adding 20 some percent. So you're in the 150, 160. So to your point, yeah, two people, 160. And so you can go to an all inclusive spot. This is where it's going. This, he's just explained where it's going and why there's a problem. All you can drink and eat, he's right. So you can get the $80, that's 160. Actually, it doesn't even matter, because if you were there for 6 hours, then you're going to eat, then you're going to have fun, then you're going to get some more food or drink. You're going to easily go past $200. So, good point. Good point. And quite frankly, this is the situation on why people generally stay at all inclusives, because they are, a lot of them already know what I'm saying now. They're getting to the point where they stay in, let's say, Capcana, right, at a place, and then they're sitting there staying at a hotel, a regular hotel, or staying at an Airbnb, and they're just like, why did I pay this when I could have stayed in an all inclusive if I was going to have to be spending $200 a day eating, $300 a day eating? I could have just stayed at the place for 350, $400 and had all I can eat, all I can drink any time of day, stay here, be at the beach. That's the problem that starts coming into effect when you don't have a place that has amenities, because the price points start shrinking. If they get close, people are going to pay the extra $50 to $100 per night. They're not going to stay out here and hang at La Bruja, Terra Negra, go around having all that fun, go to Citrus. And the next thing you know, your bills for two people for food just at your dinner is $180, $150. And then you still ate your breakfast. So you're at 200 to 225, let's say. Then whatever else you're doing. So then it starts being you can go look right now. There's places you can stay all inclusive for 250, 300 a night. And that's where this is ultimately going. So again, if you're going to buy real estate, location matters, amenities, if you're doing investment. If you just don't care and going to live there, then do what you want to do. But if you're doing investments, the same rules apply. So you're right, man. It's getting there. If they're around $80 or $90 and it's all you can drink, all you can eat for hours, let's face facts. If you're on the go running around, you generally are going to eat every 3 or 4 hours. You're not going to eat at 11 or 12 in the day and then wait till 6 at night, especially if you're running around. You're going to eat again within 3 to 4 hours. You'll be drinking or eating again. At least a stop. Let me get a drink. Let me get some snack, whatever. Give me some appetizer, whatever. That's still 30, $40. So that's where we're headed. We talked about some of this before when we said you can't buy at a certain price for real estate. Money's getting tight. So you can't buy just any place anywhere. The days of I can just buy something in Los Corrales because it's like EV place, 60 grand. Okay, we can buy something for 60 grand. That's $60 a night is reasonable, right? We know we can probably get that under any circumstance. Can we get the occupancy rate? That's yet to be determined. We know we can get occupancy rate in Los Corrales, El Cortes. Well, I don't really. El Cortecito is a little different, but you still get a high occupancy rate in those areas. But now you have 1,000 more units in that area. What's going to happen? Nobody knows because this is new, right? It's always been sitting there by itself for all these years, and everybody knows that loves that area comes. But now that you've added another 1,000, 1,500 units, and people are doing the crazy, like you can stay here for a whole week for $350, that starts getting kind of wiggy fast. So location matters and where you are. All right. Now, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel, click the all notification bell. And if you don't, uh, I'm sorry, but at least can you smash the like button? All right. So yeah, post-retirement travel, it's getting closer. This is what I was afraid of as well, is if the all-inclusives anywhere you invest, if they start not being like $700 a night, $600 per night, all inclusive, and they start doing something like $300 per night, that's when things start getting crazy when you elevate a tourist area. People are going to be like, I'm just going to stay at the all inclusives. There's no reason for me to walk around. Yeah, I like La Bruja. Yeah, I like Terra Negra, their new platform. Yeah, I like going down to Citrus. But ultimately, it's kind of crazy if all of a sudden I realize I'm spending $200 a day to eat. And I'm still paying for my Airbnb, which now means I'm paying $250 to $300. So we can stay $300 a night at all inclusives in Punta Cana right now. I know for a fact. May not be the top tiers, but you can get a very nice one for $300 a night. So just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. $60 a night for a penthouse, $80 for an all-inclusive day pass sounds like a good deal. 140. Hey, 140 a day. But see, that's the thing right there. 140 a day. That sounds like a winner to me. Now, if we know, hey, post-retirement travel, you're going to give us where this $80 a day is. Because I know where you're going with this. You're going, owners get at this price. Where's this $80 a day all-inclusive? We need to know. Actually, it can be a lot of places, quite frankly. I just know it's not the Hard Rock. So it has to be, it could be right next door at the Rio. It could be a lot of places. Could be. Since you stayed at El Cortecito, are there any gated communities there for Airbnb close to the beach? Not like what you're talking about. So it's so small. There are gated communities, but it's not, well, because of the way they've built things, you have gates on the street that they can close and open. Like when Ocean Bay is officially open, they're going to have a security gate. That and Ocean Bay goes from Alamana Drive or whatever that street is. I think that's Alamana. And then you can walk once you go through it goes all the way to the beach. Huge complex. But gated communities, mm, there's a few. Not like the open ones that you're accustomed to. I mean, it's just like there's a security guy. You open the gate, or ha- comes out and get the cones. I mean, I don't know. There's no real like gated that other than there's a few, but it's not designed like you normally would think. You can literally get in any of the gates. I mean, if there are any gates, I mean, there's few and far between. Few and far between. So, I mean, I'm sure there is. There, I mean, it you don't even really notice them is my thing. There's like Paseo del Mar, uh, a Noval property that has gates, has security, but again, security hits a button to let you in and out. So it's that simple. I mean, if you call that gated community, when I think gated community, you know what kind I'm thinking. I'm thinking gates, parks, basketball courts, fitness rooms, and centers. Or that's what I think. But in DR, you could have gated communities, just simply a condo complex, and on the street they just open and close the gate to let people in and out, and you have security. They have that all over the place in Los Corrales, El Cordecito, as well as no gates. Like Namaste Beach, they have a gate, but it's just like a front entrance. And people can't get in. You have to put a code in to get in, but that's the extent of their gate. It's not like they only have security on them. Well, they do have security. They stay there. Um, so, but again, it's not like a normal. There's a pool there, but there's nothing else. You know, that's why it's cheap. So, yeah, it's kind of. But there's a few complexes. Ocean Bay is going to be off the charts. It's taken like 7 years to build. It's crazy. Close to the beach. Yeah, there's a ton. E White stays there. Mo stays there down the street. One of these streets, I can't remember the one that goes to a beach club that a lot you can walk to the beach. A lot of people walk to the beach. They have gated condos right there. You'll be at the beach in less than 2 minutes if you're on that street. And you guys know I stayed across from the beach. They have a little 2 bedrooms apartment. I mean, a condo project directly across from the entrance to the beach in Los Corrales. Well, it used to be entrance. They kind of blocked it now. It's weird. But anyhow, right across from the beach, people rent theirs out. But again, they just have a security guard and a gate, and he'll be there, let you in and out. So I mean, it's not like, and they have a little pool too, nothing else. So if that's what you mean by gated, then yeah, there's several, but they're all small because you're by the beach. It's not much space. There's it's Tequesta. I think they're Tequesta condos. Those are they have their gates and the real type of gated community type of thing. Entrance, exit gates. Gate comes down, guardhouse goes to the beach. Stanza Mar, also in Los Corrales. It's on the beach. They have their gates, guard. You come in and they have restaurant. It's nice actually, and you can go to the beach. And it's on the beach, Stanza Mar, gated. Actually, Stanza Mar is cool. We stayed there. Stanza Mar is off the charts because it goes straight to the beach out back. It's sick. And when I first went there, stayed there, there was a freaking ocean view. I think 1 bedroom, for like 140. This is like probably 3 years ago when one bedrooms were like 80 grand. So it was like 140. It was like 140. It wasn't ocean view out front. It was back in the complex. But because of the way it was situated on the second or third floor, you could actually see the water from your unit straight through the complex. It was a rare thing. It wasn't designed for that, but it just so happened the way it turned out. They have a site in their that particular unit. It was 140. Naturally, it sold relatively quickly, even if you could buy a one bedroom anywhere else for 79 grand. But hey, it is what it is. But I like it. Stanza Mar. That's a little sleeper cell right there. All right. The Barcelo family resorts have a few for hotels for around $80 per night. Believe it or not, we stayed at Margaritaville Resort at Cap Cana last year and it was around 80. I asked them, what the heck? 80? Sheesh. That area is tight. Finding a nice accommodation with amenities close to the beach with parking and security is hard. Yeah. Yeah. So all the condos have parking. See, that's where the problem actually arises. It's not really a problem. They have parking. Parking takes up a lot of space. So you have to have an in and you have to have an out, but then it gives limited space. There's no other amenities. So that's the trade off you give, right? There's really no other amenities. They all have pools, but so what? There's an ocean like less than 3 minutes away, too. I mean, the pool is like yeah, okay, chilling out every now and then, but it's no biggie. But yeah, that's the problem. Tight spaces. So security is there with gates on a lot of places, right? Even if it's not gated, like El Dorado is not gated, but because you can drive in, walk in, they have security. So, I mean, a lot of places have gates, but not the kind that I would consider. I never considered just having a condo and a gate and a security guard is like a gated community. But in this case, in DR, it's like a gated community. I'm thinking, like I said, golf courses or something, you know, clubhouses. That's my gated community stuff when you say gated community. But yeah, in DR, and let's face it, DR, it's a different environment. So they're gonna have gates on almost a lot of places. There's gonna have gates and security, especially the new ones. They're gonna have gates and security, but you're not gonna have land for anything else. There's not going to be amenities there, so you're going to have to walk off to go do something. Uh, yep, yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be on here too long. Like I said earlier, because money is getting tight, every dollar that you use, you have to use wisely for the next 1 year and 4 months. Hopefully, you're able to put more money into an investing scenario, passive income, than you will be buying liabilities. Liabilities are rising. I mean, it's getting out of hand. It's just getting out of hand right now. So you have to figure out your dollar is more valuable to you. 80% of the population in America is living paycheck to paycheck. If you're Canadian, 85% are living paycheck to paycheck there. It's getting harder around the world. This isn't getting easier. It's getting harder for everybody. And so you have to think, if it's getting harder for our neighbors in Canada, they buy products from United States companies, corporations. Now there's less money, which is what's happening now. There's actually been a boycott on America. So Florida's having a problem. Vegas having a problem. California's having a problem because Canadians usually go to these certain locations. They're saying, no, we don't like what your government is right now. So we don't feel cool. We ain't coming. So now there's an effect. Businesses can't employ people. They have to go out of business. Now, I mean, there's a cause and effect. So everything's getting tighter. and tighter and tighter. People are looking for jobs longer. They're applying, can't find jobs. It's getting worse and worse. It's getting tight, ladies and gentlemen. So anything you have that you can put into getting a return back that can put money, you never know when bills come up and due. I mean, things are just getting crazy right now. I'm doing a lot of things with car because I got in my car got smashed up. It's going to be totaled. I said, nah, I'll just fix it. And I'm not going to go to the insurance guys because they were talking about, oh, if what you're saying is true, then it's going to be totaled. And I was like, no, it ain't totaled. I was just saying that's what it looked like to me. Come up with an excuse. So now I'm fixing a car. The stinking car is made of plastic. Ugh. But the pieces, numerous, and they start adding up. Man, I should have showed you guys. This was insane. This was insane. So for a few plastic pieces, plastic, literally, it's like the guy said, what did he say? $1,600. I say, okay. Then the guy says, but that's not all. I'm like, what do you? I have a list of 12 things. Crazy. So then I thought that's all. Then find out there's some other stuff. Next thing I know, what do you mean 2 grand more? I'm just like, good God Almighty, for all these damn pieces. I said, this explains why they just go, the insurance companies aren't going to pay for them. They'll just go, oh, yeah, it's total. I said, well, my car would have been too, but we're putting it back together. So it's all good. But the point I'm trying to make is that's just for some pieces. That doesn't even include labor and paint and anything else. This is insane. They don't build cars like they used to. And I got to say, if I would have known the car was built like this, I didn't even think that the cars were built of all plastic. I was like, this is insane. I don't like plastic cars. Well, it's a tin, so thin strips of steel. If it's even that, it's probably aluminum. And then some rubber and plastic and crumple zone stuff. And the next thing you know, it's you're spending all this money. But it is what it is. All right. So it's getting tighter for everything because it goes around. It's a circle. We're in an ecosystem, economic ecosystem. If businesses don't have customers being able to buy, businesses have to lay people off. If they have to lay those people off, those people now are in the ecosystem, so they're not out buying anything. So now the businesses they buy from have to lay people off. And then eventually, if not enough people come, they have to close their business down. I can't get any new customers because if I don't have tourists coming in or any new customers coming in, then that means I cannot sustain myself over a low season period if you have seasonal tourism. And if you don't, then you may be in a situation where, just like now over in Detroit, they laid off 500 people at Pepsi. They closed a manufacturing plant for Pepsi in Detroit. I think it was 500 people. That's crazy. Now, Brian P sent me over some emails, and I should have went on this earlier because now I can't get in. I can get in, but I don't really like this. Oh, look, I don't really like this, and I gotta get out of here. I forgot. I got to do some packing. I kind of packed already, but you always know there's loose ends because I don't know what even the weather is over there. I'm assuming it's going to be like 85, 90, maybe even 100, but I'll look at, you know what, while I'm waiting on that, let's go look. Temp in Vegas, where nobody's at. That's a sign, ladies and gentlemen. Vegas is a precursor. Oh my, it's 98 degrees at 7 p.m. at night. So yeah, and it looks like 107, 10. Okay, it's going to be 100 degrees this week. They're calling that excessive heat. Yeah, I would say so. All right, so 100 degrees day and night in Vegas. So no, I thought it was going to be August, and well, at least it's not 120 in the day, or 118 or 115. So that'll be good. All right. Um, so let me go see. We're gonna check on some emails real quick. Let me see where are they at. Come on now. All right. So I got to get myself a little. I'm getting a little parched. Mm. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm pretty sure they're gonna send me some stuff. I'm gonna have to pop open. Let's see. No. Here we go. All right. Let's see. You guys gonna let me in? Let's see. Because when things get tight, all kind of here's the thing. If you're not in the main sources, explain to me why. Can somebody oh, we got a problem. I can't get in. Explain to me why Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, why they would buy shares of DR Horton and Lennar in the last 2 months. Why are they dumping money into the housing builders, the builders? I don't understand. They, I would almost say somebody in their organization must know something we don't because I can't figure this out because people who have a 2.5, 2.7, 3.5 interest rate, why would you sell your house? That doesn't even make any sense. So that should be on pause. The people who already are on foreclosure and pre foreclosure, they're about to lose their house. The people who have a 7%, 7.5, 8% mortgage right now, a high rate of, you guessed it, pre foreclosure from 2022, 2023, 2024. So I'm thinking home should not be selling because there's so many on the market, or gonna be. So why would you buy DR Horton or Lennar, who is a home builder? Does anybody have any ideas? I can't figure out why they would think that would be a good investment. Maybe somebody knows something I don't know. Maybe you know what Warren Buffett knows, but these guys put a billion, I mean not billion, but millions of dollars into both companies. Lennar and DR Horton, which DR Horton doesn't even have a good rating as a home builder. They build garbage. Well, okay, I ain't gonna defame them. All I'm saying is these guys, man, DR Horton, they're notorious for building a home and then the home needs all type of repairs. They're notorious for this. So I don't understand how they're picking those guys. All right, so I see right now, see how they do me. See how they do me. Can't log in. Can't find my login stuff. This is how they do me, man. I didn't do it before. So, all right. Well, wait, did they send? No, they didn't send. Jesus. Yeah, Brian P. It looks like I cannot log. I'm stuck again. There's no way around it. Maybe they'll send me a. I didn't get sent what I should have been sent. This is cold blooded. So we'll try it again. But yeah, it's not here. It's not here. What? What is this? We got something new happening here. Justice Department. Uh oh, we got a problem in Houston. Giving Congress files from Epstein. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Okay. Yeah, but so what? I mean, what do you? What do you this is crazy. You're going to give them files. Okay. Um, it's not sending me what I need to be able to get in. So unfortunately, I can't log into my emails. This is what I always was concerned about when they're trying to do this crazy stuff, like sending approval requests, putting in numbers, doing all this crazy, and you don't get it. Now you can't log in. This is crazy. Then they tell you to go check your authenticator. Your authenticator doesn't give you anything. This is this is the worst thing. Just to get in my email. So I can't get in my email. Um, this is just silly. Here we are in 2025, and I got to go through all this. And even then, I won't be able to get in. So nope, Brian P. I can't get in tonight. Can't get into my email. Yeah, they're not sending me the code, so I can't punch anything in. Twice I've tried it. No go. Pretty sad, really. Real sad. Real sad. Very sad. All right. Well, if you're still here, Brian P., you're going to have to start it off. I can always look it up, but not today because I'm not getting a feed out. Not sending me what I need to put in the numbers. Yeah, you're sorry you're having trouble. So am I. Oh, you want to text me? Okay, go for it. Go for it then. All right. Well, I'm not going to keep doing this because I got to get some Z's, get up in the morning, get ready. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Hopefully, you enjoyed a little bit of our conversation this evening. And hopefully, I'll see you on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. And if you're new, I appreciate your support too. I appreciate everybody trying to help others. Information here you should write down just in case. Down below in the description box, there will be ways to get free stocks from Robinhood, Webull, and Moomoo. So just keep all of that in mind. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but you know how it is. It's getting harder. There's no way around it. You can't put your head in the sand, but you better be concerned. Trying to, I don't even know what to do. If you don't have disposable income, it's hard to position yourself to receive passive income. There are ways that you can make money. It could be in your garage, right? It could be something that you're holding that could be valuable that you can sell to use that towards an investment that gives you a return. But you can always go to Biz Buy Sell and go look for a business that may be having a hard time. A person is older, they want to retire, and they're saying, take it over and I'll let you pay me out of the profits. At least that way, you might have to do hard work or make a deal and it's already profitable. So you already know you're going to be making the money. So that's something to consider. Yeah, I can't get into my emails. This happens. That's why I hate this systems. So I didn't get a. Oh wait, hold on. I got to check. I forgot about my text. Okay, I was looking still for the other notification. So yeah, just waste. It's annoying. All right. Well, Brian P., I'll have to double down on Wednesday night. And Wednesday night, I'll specifically just remind me, I'll just go over all of these emails on Wednesday night. All of them. Because again, he sends me some things that are not in the mainstream media, but it's actually happening, but they don't want to report it. The reason they don't want to report it is because it's always like there's some new food problem. There's always some banking official or stock financier that's embezzled money from their customers. I mean, it's getting out of hand because money is getting tighter. And so people are trying to grab it that's in power, that has access. And so the tighter it gets, the more craziness happens. And that's why you can't leave your money sitting in a bank. Quite frankly, you're taking a risk. You should not keep that much money in a bank. You should keep it in more of investments, my opinion. Let me know what you guys thinking about it. But again, banks are not the most secure places. They always get bailouts or not. Sometimes they like to take your money. Like I said, it happens to a few million people a year. That's why you don't hear about it in mainstream, because it's not happening to 40 million people or 50 or 20. It's like 500,000 here, a million there. So it's so small that you can shout to the rafters, but nobody picks it up because you don't have another 100 people lining up going, it happened to me too, because they don't know where to look to join in on this party. Getting back your money, or trying to, but you can't. It's crazy because you've already signed something to the bank when you open up an account saying it's their money once you give it to them. That's why on the out, when you bring it out and you say, hey, I want 20 grand, they start looking at you like, what for? Why? Is this for, who the, is you trying to go pay somebody? I mean, they're asking all kind of questions. And you're thinking, it's my money. What are you doing right now? Or, I'm sorry, we don't have that much money here. You got to come back another day, schedule an appointment. I mean, this is crazy stuff. This is just the beginning. Wait till it gets even tighter than that, where they are not able to get money. That's when things get very interesting. That's how you get the 2008 Great Recession. That's how that occurs. All right. I'm going to wrap this up because I can't get to where I need to go. Not tonight. So, again, be safe out here because you just never know what's going to happen these days. A government is rogue. It's a rogue government. You never know what's going to show up in your city or town or state. Um, you know, uh, nothing is off the table. Constitution, optional. Rules of anything is optional unless it goes to court. So it's getting weird in America. So just be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what somebody's going through, their stress levels and excitement, energy, worried, scared. You just never know. And people have a right to be scared because you just never know what's going to happen in America, because under duress, you have all kind of things just popping up, citizens just breaking out weapons, shooting people. The thing in Seattle is the craziest thing ever. A guy is arguing with a veteran that's in a wheelchair, saying you have stolen valor. You're not really a veteran. And I mean, and so the guy is sitting there arguing with this guy. The guy is actually coming up to him. No, you're not a veteran. Like, what the heck? Then he backs up about 20, it looks like 20 to 25 feet. And the wheelchair veteran is reaching in his little bag. And you can see he has a card in one hand and he has a pouch that appears to be something like a weapon, I guess they're saying. But it's in the pouch. It's not out. It's just, he pulls out his bag, he pulls out his card. But as he pulls out his bag and card, the guy that's telling him, you're not a veteran, shoots him. He did not die, but he still shot him in the in wharf area at Seattle. Broad daylight, crowd all over the place, and background. There's people. If he misses the guy, it could hit anybody. It's in a shopping area. Incredible. He shoots the guy he's the one that walks up to him. You're not a veteran. What are you doing? Then he goes back, pulls out a weapon. He's pulling out a weapon before the guy's doing it. He's looking for his card to show him. I'm a veteran, man. And wow. I'm just like, is this what we're doing now? I don't even know if that guy was in the military. And furthermore, why does it matter? You're going to kill somebody over you're not a veteran when the guy actually ends up being a veteran? Yeah, dude should be locked up for life. That's crazy stuff right now. But this is what we're dealing with out here, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day, just from some Yahoo who had an intent of hurting somebody. Because otherwise, why are you getting in an argument? It's insane. Getting in an argument over you're in a wheelchair, you're a veteran, and no, you're not. Like, what are you doing right now? I'm just like, this is insane. What are you doing? And you're trying to kill somebody over it? I mean, this is insane. All I'm saying is, this is what I've been talking about for the last 2, 3, 4 years. You knew this was going to happen. You knew it's going to happen. It's just going to keep getting weirder and weirder because we have a situation in America where some people believe certain things that may not be true. And they're acting upon them like it's no big deal. And that's why it's scary out there, because just a simple walking around, somebody's coming in your face and they're the aggressor, and then they're acting like they're a victim. I got to shoot you. I got to hurt you. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. Um, okay, I missed something, it looks like. Okay, I love your consistency. I can't always watch live, but I see you always, Spring. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And thank you so much for that. I appreciate your support. Even though I don't see you all the time, I'm glad you see me. Now I see you. Thank you so much. I humbly appreciate the support. Thank you. That's another problem. Drugs. Exactly. Someone like that skipped his medicine. Exactly. That's another problem. Drugs. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's just too much stuff. It's just crazy. There's too many attacks on so many different people. It's like there's just this thing that people want to just tell other people what to do. There's some other people that are like, listen to me, shaking. Hey, listen to what I'm telling you. Get the hell over. I mean, there's so many of these people out here that have lost their freaking minds. And quite frankly, it's a lot of stuff being said. You know, that's never a good thing when you try to make others appear less than. And that creates, you feel you're better, you feel you should listen to me, and they feel a superiority. That starts being a problem, right? That's why words are dangerous. someone that I Someone like that skipped his meds is right. It's dangerous out here. You just never know. Again, I'm California kid. uh, you move and act differently when you're used to situations, right? Like I always tell everybody, um, when you have a state that at one time has like top number one homicide rates in the country, when we start talking about Stockton, Modesto, and Oakland, and LA areas, Compton, and you know, Long Beach and San Diego, and you start naming all these places that people actually go. These aren't like, places that are not heard of. These are places that people think are just, oh, it's just a little rural type place. It's all good. It has only 200, 300,000 people. Eh, yeah, okay. Stay there until like when things get dark. It's not going to be good. And we used to be. I'm not saying now, but I'm just saying Oakland's still kind of be in the wrong place, wrong time. You got an issue. But the point is, there when you live in a state that has cities that are you go travel to, it looks fine, no problems. But if you go there and stay and hang out, then you find out there's all kind of things going on. So you may not react according how other people act. Whereas a person staying in this perfect little bubble, they get out and they're getting these interactions where people are saying, no, who are you? What are you doing? Stop. They're like, no, I'm better than you. I was told I was. Listen to what I got to say, and I brought something to back it up too. I'm just like, this is getting insane. This is what we got issues out here. But again, it's rhetoric. You can't just keep demeaning people. You can't continue that type of talk. You can't sit there and try to tell another person how they're supposed to feel or what they are or aren't. This is where trouble starts arising because we have way too many people walking around going, you did this wrong, you did that, I don't agree with you, and starting arguments out of the thin air. It's crazy stuff. And I got to tell you, I can't even operate in this environment. I just got to stay in the house because I am personally, I'm one of these people that I'm not really scared of much. But that's where the problem comes in because I'm more like a lot of people are like me. They don't say much, don't do much, just calm. But my thing is, I say, hey, I'm all calm, I'm all cool. But there's a thing called space, and there's a thing called the way you're acting dictates what I'm gonna think I'm gonna be doing. It's like that Denzel Washington when he does a timer on his watch for when he does that. What is that? The Equalizer. It's similar like that in your mind. It's like, is this person a threat or is it just playing? And so my thing is, I don't go in reverse. I actually go forward because I can't let you get a chance to get something off if that's your thing. So I have to act accordingly. I don't do what most people do, run and do all that. I'm just like calculating, can I get to him before any damage is done? And if the answer is yes, then I'm pretty much going to go get to him before any damage is done. I'm not going to sit there and wait for this dude to act up crazy, do anything crazy. So that's why I generally try to stay out of any bad things, bad areas, because I can't be in those areas. And that's why I don't go to Halloween stuff. My friends are always like, why don't you go to the Halloween stuff? I said, because I have a built-in guard. Anybody jumping out, acting like they have hacksaws and all this stuff, I'm punching them. I ain't sitting there. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I think it's an attack coming. That's how I've always been. So that's why I never go through those Halloween scary things because I'm like, nah, nobody's jumping out. I have reactions automatic. It's automatic. I don't, you get in the space zones, it's crazy. So you have people like me, then you have other people who are scared. So then they're willing to do anything behind your back. You never know what's going to happen. So be careful out here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We have an environment it's getting scarier by the day. And the worst part is it's Americans versus Americans on a lot of situations, which is wild. But anyhow, just make sure no matter what you do out here, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what happens, always stay the course, stay positive. And no matter what, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.